What's up, gang? Ready for another session of RTI cartoon drawing. This is going to be our third episode, and today is actually this week is Spirit Week at home, and today is pajama day. So I've got my pajama shirt, my pajama pants, and my socks on, and I am ready to begin my day, begin my week with the school spirit at home. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first show you guys some of the wonderful pictures that you guys have been doing out here. So I'm just going to do a small little montage, and then after you guys watch the montage, then we're going to go ahead and start our cartoon drawing session. Okay, so check out these really cool pictures that were done by you. So great job with those works, guys, and congratulations on all of you that participated. You guys did some really outstanding artworks. That frog that was in that montage, that was like one of my favorites. Okay, but anyway, getting ready with our cartoon drawing. We are going to be doing sidekicks today. So these are characters that that are not really the main characters of the show, but they're the people that are usually around the main character. Okay, so today's theme is sidekicks. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna need our drawing pad, we're gonna need our art pencil, and an eraser for any mistakes we make. And if you guys want, later on you guys can use Sharpies to outline your work, to solidify your drawing. Okay, so moving this off to the side. So the first sidekick we're gonna do today is going to be kind of an organic or a rounded rectangle. So it's not going to be an exact square, sharp-edged rectangle, sharp-cornered rectangle. It's going to be very rounded, okay? Please stop. So we're going to start with a round rectangle. If you want to, you can even make a rectangle, and then you can draw the edges, the corners rounded. It's going to kind of look like a spam musubi from the top. So make your spam musubi shape. And like I said, after each step, you guys can go ahead and pause it so that you guys have time to draw it. And meanwhile, I will move on to the next step. So when I say pause, I'll give a short 3-second window for you to pause the video and then continue drawing, and then play again once you're ready to go. So you guys can pause now. Alright, the next step is we are going to draw the eyes, and the eyes are going to be 2 big circles located on the top of our smooth rectangle here, on the top of our musubi. So I'm just going to draw 1 circle nice and big, 2 circles nice and big, side by side. And inside those 2 circles, we're gonna put 2 smaller circles. And inside those 2 smaller circles, we're gonna put even smaller circles. And then we can go ahead and darken those 2 small circles in. Okay, pause. Alright, next step is we are going to draw an outline around both of these circles. We're going to connect them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a small V in the middle of the 2 circles like this. And then I'm going to put the same kind of line underneath it. See that? So we have this V and this upside down V here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to draw a line, contour line, around our 2 circles. And knowing that these are sidekicks, I'm assuming that you guys have already guessed what we are drawing. Okay, so there's the eyes. Alright, on the side of the eyes, we're going to have a couple of rectangles, and they're going to shoot out of the head. And as you can see, the body is going through those rectangles. Not a big deal. Just make sure that the rectangles aren't bigger than the eyes. They're just going to be small rectangles. These are going to be kind of like straps. And this outline going around the eyes are going to be like goggles. Okay, so I take my eraser and I go ahead and get rid of the lines going through the straps. Okay, you can pause. Alright, next step is we're going to put a line going across the tummy area. Right about here. This is going to be about 1/3 up. Okay. So if I split my musubi shape or my rectangle shape into thirds, I can see that 2/3 down, that's where I'm going to put my line going across. And this line going across is going to have 2 ovals on either side. So when we draw our 2 small ovals, they're going to be vertical, and it's going to start from the outside of our line here, and it's going to come down maybe a little bit like halfway. So your oval is going to be about halfway to the bottom of your musubi shape. So 2 ovals, 1, 2. And if your oval's too small, you can erase it and try again. But you want to make it halfway between the line and the bottom of the musubi. Just kind of draw your oval. Okay, this is supposed to be some kind of either apron or overalls or something. Okay, in the middle of our body here, right inside this blank space, we're going to put a pentagon. And a pentagon is a shape that has 5 sides. So the first side is going to be nice and long in the middle, right in the center. And then the other 2 lines coming down is going to be more like a trapezoid. But since this is a pentagon, we need 5 lines. And then the final 2 lines, so we have 1, 2, 3, we need 2 more lines, are going to come together like a triangle to a point. Okay? So you guys can pause it there and finish up the ovals and the pentagon. Alright, let's move on to the legs. The legs are going to be 2 skinny rectangles at the base of our musubi shape. And at the base of these little skinny rectangles here on the bottom, you're going to have a couple of semi-ovals. It's going to be like an oval but cut in half, because this is going to be the feet. So the bottom part, the cut in half part of the oval, is going to be the sole of the shoe, and the rounded part is going to be the top of the foot where the shoelaces would be. Okay, you can pause, finish up these 2 shapes. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to add some detail on top of the character's sleeve up here, as well as the pants over here. And all we're going to do for the pants is inside of our ovals, we're just going to draw a line, a horizontal line, coming towards your pentagon here. Okay, and that'll show the pants. And then what you can do is we need to make a what do you call it, a strap going over the shoulders. And since this guy doesn't really have much of shoulders, it's just the shape of a musubi, what we're just going to do is we're going to put a parallelogram, like a rectangle, like a parallelogram. It's a pushed over rectangle, going down diagonally into the line and going across the musubi shape, the rectangular, smooth rectangle. And then inside that parallelogram, we're going to put a small dot that represents the button, and that's what's holding the suspender. These are suspenders holding up the clothes. Okay, so we can copy this on the other side. We're just going to go ahead and draw another parallelogram. Another button. Okay, almost there. You guys can pause it if you need to. Alright, so we're going to do the arms next, and the arms are going to be triangles sticking out of the side of the body here. The triangle is going to start at the bottom of our parallelograms, and it's going to be kind of long. It's going to come past the ovals here. So we're going to start off with our triangle coming down past the ovals, and then it's going to cut back in towards the pants. Okay, so there's the arms made with a triangle. The hands are in gloves, and what we're going to do is we are going to draw the wrist, which is going to be a small rectangle that sticks out further than the arm. Since it's a glove, we have to show that dimension there. Okay, and the rectangle goes all the way to the musubi shape. And then at the base of the rectangle, we're just going to go ahead and put a couple of circles, because this sidekick in particular has kind of monkey arms, long monkey arms, almost touches the floor. Okay, and then to do the thumbs sticking out over here, we're just going to go ahead and draw a couple of ovals, small ovals inside, and they're going to be diagonal, facing up and to the right on the right hand, up and to the left on the left side here. See that? And then you can go ahead and take your eraser and erase the part of the thumb that connects to the hand. Can you pause it? And now we're going to finish up with the last detail, that being of the mouth and the hair. Let's do the mouth first. So the mouth is going to be 2 semi-ovals overlapping each other, and they're kind of diagonal. So one semi-oval is slightly diagonal to the upright, and the other semi-oval is slanted slightly to the up left. And they're just going to overlap. And then you can take your eraser and erase the two lines that are overlapping each other. And we should have like what looks like a concerned face on top of our picture. You can pause it there. Alright, now we're going to add the teeth. And the teeth is going to be the line coming down the middle of the upper lip. And then it's going to come over both sides and create a rectangular like shape and come back up. Like little rounded squares. And then you're going to do another one next to that, but this one is going to be more of a triangle because the side of the mouth cuts it off. Both sides. And then the hair on the top of the head. There's going to be a bunch of stray lines sticking out. Alright, so if you'd like to pause it, you can finish it up, because we are going to move on to our next picture. And if you guys want to, you guys can use, if you have at home, Sharpies to outline your work and outline your details. Erase all the graphite from your pencil off of your paper, and then you can go ahead and color them using your markers or your crayons or your colored pencils. Okay, so other than that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next picture. Alright, so the next sidekick we're going to do, it's a pretty popular one, especially nowadays, especially if you have Disney Plus. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with a couple of rounded shapes. It's going to be kind of like a semicircle, but it's not going to be completely semicircle where it's half. It's going to have a little bit more of the circle. So let me show you. I'm going to draw a circle in the middle of my paper, not too big. It's going to be a little bit like a medium-sized circle. And I did start off a little too big because I want to make sure that I have space for the head and legs and arms. And drawing your initial circle, which is going to be the shoulders and chest area, might make it difficult for you to squeeze it all in there. Okay? So I'm starting off with what looks like a 2-inch circle. And I'm going to make it a semicircle, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut part of my circle off, not in the middle. I'm going to come down a little ways. It's more like maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe a quarter of it is going to be cut off. So this quarter here, I'm just going to go ahead and erase that circle there. And the line that I drew is a diagonal line, pointing diagonally. Mine is going to the upper right. Alright, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to make another circle, and it's going to overlap my first circle. Okay, and we all know that the overlapped circle, this line here that's going through the first circle, is going to be erased. Okay. We are also going to chop off a little bit of the bottom of this big circle. This one's going to be a little bit less chopped off, maybe about 1/8 rather than 1/4. So this is also a semicircle, it's just not a semicircle cut in half. Okay. Alright, you guys can pause it to get this beetle-like shape. Okay, so the next step, we're going to make 2 more circles. One is going to be on the very base of the last big circle we drew and cut in half, or cut in parts. And the other one is going to be off to the side. So these are going to be the feet, the legs. Okay, and these are also going to get cut, just like this first one. You're going to cut off 1/4 of the circle, One is going to be cut from the bottom, the very bottom, so it can stand on the ground. And the other one is going to be cut from the side, almost vertically, to make it look like the foot is kicked up into the air. And then you're going to grab your eraser, get rid of all those lines we don't need. Go ahead and erase the line that's going through the body. We don't need that either. And then finally we're going to do the head. And the head shape is an interesting one. We are going to start off with a trapezoid, a rounded trapezoid, because this is going to be an organic-like shape. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the top of our first circle that we drew. Okay, so it's going to be a rounded trapezoid, so we're just going to kind of make it, rather than straight lines, we're just going to make it kind of round. And it's going to come up. And we're going to face this one slightly diagonally to the right. Okay. So now I have this kind of rounded trapezoidal shape. I'm going to do another rounded trapezoid shape that's going to be much smaller. It's going to be shorter, as well as it's not going to be as wide. So starting coming in a little bit on both sides of my first trapezoid, I'm going to draw my trapezoid coming up and rounded at the top. Just like that. Okay, and if you need to pause, you can do so now. Alright, so now I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase the lines that are connecting each other to the trapezoid shapes. And then I'm going to go ahead and erase the line that's going through the face. So that is the top of our first circle we drew. I'm getting rid of that. Okay, and now all we're left to do is we are left to make details. First detail we're going to start with is the eyes, and one of the eyes is going to be larger than the others. So I'm going to start off with the large one first. Make sure that the eye is not touching the side of the face here. It's more towards the middle of the face. And the second eye is going to be right next to it, side by side. And this is going to be slightly smaller. And inside those eyes, we can put 2 more circles to make it look like it's staring at you. And then if you want to, you can go ahead and shade those eyeballs in. Pause it there if you need to. Alright, so we're going to do the nose next. The nose is almost like a semicircle or a semi-oval. We're going to go up right below the first eye we drew. We're going to go ahead up and over, and we're going to come down, and then we're going to connect the line here on the bottom, and that is going to be the nose. And we're going to go ahead and erase the line that's going through the eye, because we don't need that. Looks like somebody needs help. You hear the sirens in the background. Oh boy. Alright, so then what we're going to do next is we are going to draw lines on top of the nose, because it's supposed to be a carrot. You guys probably figured out what this famous sidekick is by now. Alright, let's put some eyebrows. The eyebrows are going to come up from either side of the eyes, and they're going to go over the eyes. The lines are going to go over the eyes, like that. And then from this line here in the middle, we're just going to go ahead and connect those lines with another curved line going up. Okay, so there's our shape. Kind of looks like a fancy triangle. Go ahead and shade that in. Just like that. You can pause it if you need to. Alright, we're going to do the mouth next. And the mouth, we're going to start the mouth up by the cheeks over here. So these two things puffing out, that's supposed to be the cheeks. We're going to just draw a couple of upside down U's or rainbows. Put a couple rainbows inside the cheeks. One here, and we're going to put one here on the other side of the nose. So a couple of rainbow-like shape lines. And then we're going to put another bigger rainbow connecting the two right in the middle. So starting from the first one we drew, draw a nice big rainbow line going around and up to the other side. Just like that. Hanging down from the middle of this smile, we're going to put a small trapezoid, and that is going to represent the tooth. Just like that. And then finally, we're going to do the bottom part of the mouth, and the bottom part of the mouth almost looks the same as the top part. It's just that when you do your lines that are connecting on the bottom of the smile, we're going to make it a little bit flat. Okay, and if you want, you can lightly shade that in. If not, you can color it later. Pause it if you need to. Alright, so let's add some of the details. Basically, the character has these circles, one on top of the first semicircle that we drew, and they're kind of big, almost as big as the eyes. There's one right below the first semicircle, and they're about the same size as each other, and then there's another one that's kind of off to the side. It kind of gives this curve here, and that curve makes it appear that the body has like some motion going on. And these things are black, so if you're not going to color it, you can shade it in with your pencil, but if you're going to color it, you can use black Sharpie or black marker or crayon. Okay, you can pause it there. Alright, next step is the hair and the arms, and the hair and the arms are drawn with using like twigs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw the general direction of the arms, and the arms are directed diagonally coming out from the body on both sides, like it's super happy, like it's celebrating, yay. And the hair kind of just comes off the top of the head with more twig shapes like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to use these lines to build the arms, and since it's twigs, you can kind of make up your own shapes, but at the very least you need to make sure that the hands on the top are done correctly. So let's do the arm real quick. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw around my line what I think looks like a nice twiggy shape. So when a twig, if you go outside and look at trees, twigs are kind of uneven, and they have these parts that are broken off from the twig that used to extend the twig off further. They snapped off. You can go ahead and add those. You have some really uneven or asymmetrical lines to them. Okay, so when you come to the fingers, you're going to have a thumb, which I'm drawing with a rectangular line, and then you're going to have a pointer finger, and then we're going to have a middle finger, and finally a pinky. Most cartoons, when you watch them, are going to have a total of 4 fingers, 1 thumb and 3 fingers. I don't know what started that trend, but you can do the same thing you did on that side on the other arm. For the other arm, you're just going to go ahead and draw along the line that we drew initially, and you're just going to add some lines that could make it look like it used to be part of a tree. And don't forget, the hand has a pinky promise. It has a middle finger, a pointer finger, and a thumb. And the thumb is shorter than the rest of the other fingers. And then finally the hairs, you can do the same thing with this. You can create more twigs coming out of the head because these are more branches, more branch sticking out. Oops. And once you are done with your details, you're ready to outline with Sharpies, erase the graphite, and color it in using your colored pencils or markers. Alright, so that is a sidekick character from the movie Frozen. There's not very much that you can color on this character besides his nose and the branches sticking out of the figure, because the rest of it is snow, so it's white. So yeah, you can go ahead and move on to the next one, next picture. Alright, so here's our next sidekick. This one's going to be kind of easy. This one's going to be a little bit on the easy side. Maybe I should have started with this one. Now that minion that we started with was pretty easy too. Alright, so first step, you're going to draw yourself a nice big round oval. It's going to almost look like a manapua. You guys don't know what what is it called again? I just said it. Manapua. If you guys don't know what a manapua looks like, it basically looks like a bead of water sitting on top of the sink or on the counter after you brush your teeth or something and splash water. It kind of looks like a water drop. Okay? So go ahead and draw your water drop or your manapua. And I have it facing slightly diagonally because we're going to have our character looking down this way, or looking off this side over here. Alright, so it's kind of uneven. If you look at the bottom of my manapua, it is a little bit angled. If it were sitting on top of a table, this table would be kind of slanted. Okay, let's go ahead and draw the eyes. So on either side of my manapua, I'm just going to draw a couple of very large circles. And I'm going to put a couple of highlights using circles, put a couple of highlights inside the eyes. And then I'm going to go ahead and shade it in with my pencil. Like I said, if you're going to color it, you don't need to do this part because you'll probably color it in with your coloring supplies. Okay, so there's the eyes. They look nice and cute because they're round. Alright, so underneath the base of the manapua, we're going to put another upside down rainbow, or the letter U. Kind of looks like this thing is now sticking its tongue out. Okay, you can pause it there, catch up. Okay, moving on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw some of the stuff in the that's surrounding our character here, and we're gonna start off by drawing a nice big semi-oval coming around our manapua. So it's going to come from the upper right hand side of the head. It's going to go around the manapua, come back down, and it's going to follow the same diagonal line here. It's going to get chopped, and it should, if it continues, go through the manapua and come out the other side here. So there we have our semi-oval. Got a little bit crazy up here. Looks like my semi-oval has a bump on its head. There we go. Well, it kind of looks like a little bird sticking its head out of a cuckoo clock. Like the opening of a cuckoo clock. Anybody have any guesses as to what sidekick character this could be? Okay, so we're going to continue on below the tongue. Since we have this line here going across diagonally, we are going to draw a semi-oval, or semi-circle I should say, coming from the side of our line here that connects the semi-oval. We're going to draw a semicircle, going up and over. Now I'm showing you guys the semicircle, but you don't need to make it go through the face like this. I'm only showing you what I'm seeing as to the shapes, so you guys don't have to. When you come up, you can stop right by the tongue area, pretend you're drawing some more, and then continue down the other side. But you want to do that continuous line using your pencil, because you don't really want to go up and stop and then go up and stop, because what ends up happening is, when instead of drawing the entire shape, what ends up happening is, if you try to visualize in your head what you think it should be doing, you're going to end up with these two kind of diagonal lines, and it's going to make it look very awkward. So if you like draw with your pencil on your paper up until you get to one of the shapes that you don't want to draw over, and lift your pencil slightly and continue that line to the other side, and then put your pencil back down and then draw the rest of the line, that'll make your pictures look a lot more realistic, and they'll make a lot more sense. Okay? Then take your eraser, if you drew through your face like I did, and go ahead and erase that line that went off of it. Okay? I'm just going to go ahead and clean up my, I'm on a pool over here. There we go. Okay. So now we have shoulders. Now the next step is, we are going to draw a couple of ovals, and the ovals are going to be right on the edge of this first line, and these are going to be fingers. It's going to kind of be hanging off there. Okay, and then you're going to take your eraser, you're going to erase part of the line that's going through your fingers, so it actually looks like the fingers are creeping over that diagonal line. Okay, if you'd like to pause it, you can now. Alright, so the next step is we're going to go ahead and draw the rest of this shape here, and it's basically going to start from the outside of this first line here. We're going to go up and around and come back under the fingers. Okay, so watch this really quick, and then you guys can go ahead. So I'm coming up on the side where the other line started. I'm copying that same line, it's going over, and when it comes around, it's going to go back a little bit. Okay, and then it's going to come down and under and back up to the fingers. It's going to kind of look like a dharma. One of those good luck items that you color in the eyes. I don't know if you guys have those. It's also going to look like kind of like an egg. Alright. Refine your line and erase what you don't need. If you need to make a correction, go ahead and draw them back in. You can pause it there if you need to. Alright, let's continue on. So we're coming back to the look of the figure here. And what I want to do is I want to draw a small little triangle between the two circles. So small little triangle right here. It's going to be a little bit long and a little bit short. I mean a little bit, yeah. So from the base to the top of the triangle, it's going to be kind of small. It's going to be short. But then the corners here, the edges are going to be a little bit wide. But you don't want them touching the eyes. It's going to kind of look like a rabbit. Okay, and right below the base of the nose, we're just going to go ahead and draw what looks like a rabbit's mouth. Kind of looks like a W, the letter W. Like you took the letter W and you just kind of like pulled it so that it... So normally a W looks pretty sharp, but then when you start pulling it and it gets wider and wider, it kind of makes this like what a rabbit's lips look like. So we're going to go ahead and make that rabbit lip thing happen. And then from the corner of the rabbit's lips, we're just going to go ahead and draw an upside down rainbow. And inside the upside down rainbow, we're going to put a tongue. Okay. Shade in the back of the cheek, the mouth area. Put a couple of lines, one above each eye, and then of course one in the middle of the head. Pause it there if you need to. And now we're going to do the ears. Alright, the ears are pretty spectacular. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a couple of triangles. So sticking out the side of the Manapua head, we're going to draw a triangle. Sticking out one side, and we're going to put another triangle sticking out the other side. With these ears now in place, you guys can kind of see, perhaps see which sidekick we are drawing. Alright, now part of the crib that this thing is sitting in is getting cut off by the ears. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my eraser and erase the part of the crib that's going through the ears. And I'm also going to erase the line that's connecting my Manapua to my ears. Okay. And we're going to finish up the ears by drawing a line coming around towards the face. On both sides. Can add a little bit of detail to the crib itself. I'm going to put an oval off to the side here. I'm going to put another oval inside. I'm going to draw some lines for some details there. And then I'm going to connect this oval to the front of the crib. And then it's going to extend to the back of the crib. It's going to come up to the back where the ear is. More detail going up towards the top of the crib. A little bit of detail inside the crib, with a little line going horizontally towards the back of the character. Then all back here is going to be shaded. This character is green. It wears brown colored clothes. and the crib is kind of a beigeish gray. You guys may or may not know what this character is from, but if you do, you'll know what to color it. Add some details for the fingernails. Put some lines for the pits. The under pits would be. Give it some eyelashes, little triangles coming off the sides. There you have it. You have your sidekick. Okay, like I said before, take your Sharpies, outline it, use your eraser, erase the graphite off, grab your colored markers and pens or crayons and colored pencils and go to work. Okay, so that's the end of our third picture, and I'm gonna do this one pretty quick. This one's a little bit hard. Well, this next picture is gonna be kind of hard, only because it has an interesting posture. The posture is interesting. Alright, but I'm gonna do this one pretty quick. I'll just be drawing it like I did with the Tasmanian Devil from the first session that we did. Just follow along if you can. Alright, I will be talking during this one. I will be explaining what shapes I'm doing. But this one, you guys, for the older kids especially, this one's more geared towards you. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with a big circle on the top. And this is going to be the head. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to draw a trapezoid coming out of the head, going down diagonally left. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another circle attached to the trapezoid. And then I'm going to draw an even bigger circle attached to that circle. Now I'm going to put a parallelogram coming off the side of the circle here. And I'm going to draw a rectangle. No, a triangle. I'm going to put a triangle sticking off the side. Of my parallelogram. And then I'm going to draw another triangle that's coming from the side here, connecting to the parallelogram, and one more triangle coming off of that. So I got a mix of triangles here. Looks pretty messy. Coming out of the triangle on the right, we have another parallelogram. Not too long, just a short one. And same thing for the left side. We're going to draw another parallelogram sticking out the side. Okay, and sticking out of those parallelograms, we are going to have a couple of semi-ovals for the feet. Alright, so right above this smaller circle, we're going to put another circle there. And sticking out of this smaller circle here, we're going to have a couple of rectangles. One rectangle is going up to the left diagonally, and the next rectangle is going to be going up to the right diagonally. And then we're going to draw a circle on the top of that rectangle, and sticking out of that circle, we're going to put an oval sticking straight up, vertically, 2 ovals. This one's kind of drifting to the right diagonally. And then one last oval here. These are the fingers pointing more diagonally to the right. And then finally a vertical oval for the thumb. Okay. This next part here, we're going to go ahead and draw a small circle right in between the 2 circles that we drew earlier for the chest and the tummy. And this circle is going to be the same size as this here because this is the hand. Okay. And then we're going to draw fingers just like we did earlier by drawing ovals, 3 ovals sticking out up diagonally to the right, all 3 of them. And then the thumb is going to be sticking up diagonally to the left. And then finally the arm, instead of doing rectangles, we're going to just use 1 oval, and that's going to be connected to the side of the circle. It's going to come down below the hand. I am just going through the motion of bringing my oval through the palm. I'm not actually drawing the line because I don't need it. Technique. Okay, and then I'm going to draw 1 line coming out from the palm, going through the oval to make it look like the forearm is separated from the upper arm. See that? This line creates a separation. Looks like the bend in your elbow and your upper arm and lower arm. Alright, so let's go ahead and move into the character's head because basically the bottom is all done. Wait, let's do one more thing for the bottom. Let's put the separation between the pants and the torso. And we're just going to put a line, a rounded line that's cutting the center of our circle here. And we're going to bring it up and connect that line. This is going to be the t-shirt. It's going to be hanging over the pants. Alright, things look a little bit confusing here, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab my eraser. I'm going to start doing the magic erase thing. So I'm going to be connecting the fingers to the hands to the wrists, the elbows to the upper arm to the shoulder, upper chest to the lower waist, the hips to the legs, and so forth, okay? So I'm just going to be connecting them now. I'm going to keep the small V here by the stomach area because that's how the pants usually wrinkles on a figure. It has a kind of like it sticks out there like that. Okay, and from here I can start adding details like the palm, the line here inside the palm. You can add those curves. You can do the cut-off shirt here with a rounded line and continue the rectangle inside the shirt. Then go ahead with my eraser and connect the fingers. Okay. So here's another sidekick. Maybe some of you already know what this sidekick is by just looking at the pose. Maybe not. This is a very popular cartoon popular cartoon series. Not sure about the character, if this character is popular or not. But this series has been playing for decades. Okay. Now I'm going to connect the circle to the trapezoid that we drew earlier. That's going to all be part of the face here. Alright, so I'm going to draw the mouth. The mouth has a curved line right at the neck, and then that curved line goes right into the upper lip, and the upper lip comes down like a beak, like a bird's beak, and juts back. Okay, and the mouth connects to that beak that we just drew, and in the back of the mouth we have a tongue, and in the back of the mouth we also have darkness where there is no tongue. And we can connect the lip to the base of the beak there. The nose is a big round shape or rounded line, and that's going to come up back to the middle of the face. Go ahead and erase the line that's cutting through the nose. We don't need that. And if you made a mistake like I did by making the nose a little bit too big, you can erase those lines there too. Erase the line with the lip. On either side of the nose, we're going to have a circle. One circle is going to be next to the nose here, and the other one's going to be behind the nose, so it's going to actually be cut off. A bit cut off. In the middle of that, we're going to put a couple of dots. Then we're going to connect these circles with a line crossing over the nose, because that's going to be the bridge of the glasses. This character wears glasses. And then we're going to go ahead and make a three-dimensional circle for the lenses by just copying that same line on the outside and connecting it with a diagonal line on both sides. The eyebrows are going to be upside down rainbows connected with the rounded curved line, like parentheses, on both sides, because this character looks concerned. Okay, kicking back this way is the part that goes over the character's ear, even though his ear is actually on the bottom of his head here. Use a circle shape. Erase the stuff inside his ear. Make it nice and clean. And you can go ahead and put like a smile, like we did on top of our Olaf from Frozen. Has the upside down U with a rainbow shape line, with a line coming down. That's the ear shape. All right, now we're gonna do the hair. The hair comes up alongside the ear and shoots up towards the glasses. And when it comes out from the glasses, it's going to go up by the eyebrows, and then it's going to cut back and back down again to the glasses and behind the ear. Now we can go ahead and erase the head that's cutting through the glasses and through the hair. This is the side of the character's head. Okay, and then the top hair part is going to cut through the forehead and hang off slightly from the forehead. And then we're going to put a small bump here where the bottom part of the hair comes in. We're going to put another bump there, and that's going to go up and over the head and come back down. Go ahead and erase those lines that we don't need. Alright, so there we have our final sidekick, which was done really quick. I don't know if you guys know who this is, but this character's name is Milhouse. He's from The Simpsons. But yeah, so that's our final one, and that is the end of our RTI. Remember, if you guys want me to draw something that you want to do, let me know. You guys can email me. I left the link on both RTI Monday videos, session 1 and 2. I'll leave my email again over here on the bottom. You guys can. I haven't really gotten many requests, so these characters, I decided to do the sidekick theme today because nobody had let me know what they wanted to do today, so I just kind of made it up, threw it together. So if you want to see something, or you're going to learn how to draw something, let me know. I can help you. But other than that, it's all done. Enjoy the rest of your week. Participate in the at-home school spirit week. I believe tomorrow is Dress as Your Parent Day, so that'll be fun. Alright, gang, Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next time.